In today's video, I want to introduce a new version of VWAP which performs much better than the original one. If you're familiar with VWAP indicator, this one, which is the original version, so you know that is one of the most popular indicator among scalpers and day traders. It was specifically designed for intraday trading and it's more suitable for time frames like 15 minutes and lower. It's a kind of similar to moving averages, but it's totally different because here in this indicator, we have average prices that are weighted by volume. So here, beside averaging the closing prices during a given period of time, the volume also plays a role, and so the indicator puts emphasis on the periods with higher volume. This blue line is a VWAP line, and these green lines above and below the VWAP line are one standard deviation from the VWAP line. The calculation of VWAP starts from the beginning of each day separately. If you pay attention, you can clearly see the reset of the VWAP line at the beginning of a new day, which is actually where the line suddenly breaks and sticks to the price action. At the beginning of the day, the VWAP line moves very closely to the price action, and after that, the further it moves forward in the day, the smoother it becomes and actually reacts less to the price movement. And because of this fact, it's recommended not to use VWAP near end of the day and beginning of the next day because the line reset happens, and it's also recommended not to use VWAP at the beginning of the day for a while that it's still very close to the price action because you can encounter noises regarding the VWAP line. In this video, I want to introduce a new version of VWAP that doesn't have the problem of VWAP resetting, and so it's more effective for trading. Here we click on indicators and we search rolling VWAP. We add this one, which is written by someone named Quantra AI. Alright, as you can see, the indicator is overlaid on the price charts with a different appearance in compared to the original VWAP. This middle line is our VWAP line, and as you can see, it changes color between blue and purple depending on how the candlesticks are crossing the line. When a candle closes below the VWAP line, the line becomes purple and it's a bearish signal, and when a candle closes above the VWAP line, the line becomes blue and it's a bullish signal. But similar to moving averages, we can have many false signals, which I'll explain later about this. These lines above and below the VWAP line are based on a standard deviation. These two lines are one standard deviation from the VWAP line, and these two lines are two standard deviation from the VWAP line. We can also add 3 standard deviation bands to the chart here in the settings of the indicator by the help of this option, which depending on the trading strategy that you're going to use, you can use them. Based on statistical principles and probability distributions, 68% of data falls between 1 standard deviation from VWAP line, 95% between 2 standard deviation, and 99.7% within 3 standard deviation. So in times that the price reaches to or goes beyond 2 standard deviation, most of the time we have reversal of the price, as you can see. And in times that the price reaches to or goes beyond 3 standard deviation, it's considered very rare and unsustainable, and we have higher probability of reversal or momentum slowdown to getting back to a sustainable level. As I mentioned earlier, one of the signals that scalpers and day traders use with VWAP is when a candle closes above or below the VWAP line, because this line, the VWAP line, is showing the average price of the day, and when we see the market participants are trading above the average price, so we conclude that there is a reason for this, that they are buying above the average price, and so there is a potential for further advancing of the price. And conversely, when a candle closes below the VWAP line, it shows that the market participants are selling below the average price, so there could be a reason for this, and further declining of the price is expected. But as I just explained, the further the price moves away from the VWAP line, we have higher probability for reversal. As I explained, these lines will act as support or resistance levels, and they don't allow the price to move further away from the VWAP line, especially 2 standard deviation and 3 standard deviation bands. The indicator also has an option here in the settings for showing signals. Here, show trend signals, which when you turn it on, the indicator will show up and down signals when a candle closes above or below the VWAP line. As I mentioned earlier, you shouldn't trade only based on these crossover signals because many of them doesn't provide enough movement to make the position profitable before hitting your stop loss. So just like any other indicator, this must also be used in conjunction with other indicators or aspects of technical analysis for further confirmation. For example, you can add another indicator for identifying longer term trend of the market and then only take the signals that are in the current direction of the market. As I said earlier, in this new version of VWAP, we don't have problem of reset resetting because it uses a look back length for the VWAP, or you can also use a time frame instead of look back period. And in case if you're more used to working with the original VWAP, here you can uncheck this option. Your VWAP becomes like the original one and resetting at the beginning of each day, but you still have the same features of the new version. Please pay attention, by default the resetting is happening after each 50 candles because here in the setting by default it's using a look back window with length of 50. In case if you want to use this indicator like this, I mean in the original version, you can turn on this option, use time frame instead of look back, and for the anchor you can set it daily. So the resetting happens at the beginning of each day. By changing to rolling VWAP, you have an added advantage of not resetting and so better describing of the price action, especially near end of the day, where in the original version VWAP line stays very far from the price action until it resets. VWAP is a popular indicator for scalping and day trading, and in this new version with more features and solving the problem of resetting, it's a perfect choice to be used in intraday trading strategies. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave a comment for me. I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications of my new videos. See you guys in next video and good luck with your trading.